Okay. So 30 jumping jacks. Whenever you guys are ready, we'll get started with our warm-up. All right, 30 total. Coming back to center, going into our stretches, looking over your right shoulder. And back to center, looking over your left. Back to center, tilt your right ear down towards your right shoulder. And switch the sides, left ear to left shoulder. Back to center, we're gonna do our head roll, drop the chin to the chest, around to the right. 3 full circles. Getting all the cracks out of that neck. And reverse your direction, 3 full circles to the left. Making your way back to center. Let's move down to our shoulders, up, around, and forward. Doing some movement in there. Start to add those elbows. And then full arm circles up, around, forward. Reaching as far back as you can, and then coming forward. 2 more. And then reverse, just the shoulders first, up, around, and back, dropping down away from your ears. And add your elbows in. And then big arm circles up, around, and back. 2 more. And then arms come out, let's let them swing. Nice and easy, alternating which arm's on top. Working out any last tension that we have in our upper body. 2 more. All right, shake it out. Let's move down to our hips, feet underneath your hips, unlock your knees, hands to your hip bones, send your tailbone back, bowing forward, starting to feel that stretch in the backside of your leg. Nice straight spine. Couple breaths. 2 more. And then coming all the way back up, let's take our feet nice and wide, toes pointed out to the side, and we're going to tilt our right hip up and out to the side. Feel the stretch on that inner side, trying to keep the legs as straight as you can. Really pushing that hip up and out. And then coming through center, just switch sides. The left hip up and out, legs straight, stretching through the inner thigh. And back through center, walk those feet in just a couple inches, enough to do your hip circles. We're gonna do 3 around each direction, taking your time, full hip circles. Try to keep the legs straight. 3, and reverse opposite direction for 3. And make your way all the way back through center. Once you do, bring those feet right back in underneath your hips, unlock your knees, hands come to the kneecaps. We're just going to drop our knees down and around to the right, knee circles. And then reverse direction, so both feet stay planted, just getting motion in the kneecaps. 1 more. And then slowly coming all the way back up. We're just gonna go into our hip and calf stretch, so left foot forward, right foot back. For this one, keep the back heel down, back leg straight. Rotate your hips so they're facing towards your front leg. And then let's bend and extend that front knee. Feeling that stretch in that back calf. If you're not feeling it, just adjust your legs. Maybe you need to be a little wider. drop that back hip as much as you can too. So you're thinking about pushing that back heel down and pushing your that back hip towards the mat. 3 more and then let's switch. And just switching around opposite side. So opposite leg forward, opposite leg back. Toes pointed straight, keep your hips pointed towards the front leg. And bend and extend, feeling that stretch, calf and hip. Let's do 1 more. Nice and deep. And then coming back to center, walk those feet back in. Let's just do our ankle stretches. So right foot first, point and flex. And then some circles around. Ankle circles to the right. Reverse ankle circles to the left. Shake it on out, switch sides, point and flex to the left. And let's just add those circles around to the left, shake it on out, and switch around to the right. Shake out both legs. Go ahead and grab a sip of water if you need to. Stretch anything else out that you need to. We're starting with that band exercise. So this is the only band one we've got tonight. So if you've got your band, grab it. We're doing wide bent over rows. So if you don't have a band, just use your dumbbells. Be the same. If you do have a band, 2 feet are going to come on the band. So we're going to set it up the same that we do for our normal bent over row. So knees are going to be unlocked. You're going to be bent forward. You're going to have a flat back. But instead of elbows coming in close by your rib cage here, this is our normal bent over row. We're going to rotate our palms so they're face back towards us. And you're going to pull out to the side. Okay, so this is the difference. This is our standard bent over row. Everything's nice and close. This time, palms are going to face down. We're coming out to the side. So you're going to feel a little bit higher up in your back, okay, in between those shoulder blades. So let's get positioned on our band. So 2 feet on, hip width distance. Cross those handles, make that X. So you have all that tension coming from the middle. Unlock your knees, hinge forward from the hips, flat back, roll your shoulders back, palms face back towards you. And then you're going to pull out to the side, squeeze in that upper back and a release down. We're going for 12. Once you get in this position, inhale, exhale, hold that nice strong back position the whole time. Elbows out. Squeeze together every time. Once you reach 12, you can slowly come up standing and come off that band. Set it off to this side. All right, second movement, we're gonna do a balancing squat today, okay? So you can add weight to this if you'd like, completely up to you. I'm gonna show you this without weight, but then if you want to hold a weight and add resistance, you're gonna take one weight, and I want you to hold it goblet style, kind of at your chest height here, okay? So the squat, you're gonna do a regular squat. On your way up, you're gonna shift your weight, okay? So you're gonna shift over to the left side. As you stand, you're gonna bring your knee up, you're gonna balance, okay? This is just for a second, you're not staying here long. You're gonna bring your foot out. As you bring that foot back out, squat position, you're gonna squat down. You're gonna come over to the second side, lift that knee and balance, okay? So we're just adding a little bit of single leg balance on to our squats, kind of in real time. It looks like this. So we squat, shift our weight, lift. We squat, shift our weight, lift, okay? If you're unsure whether your balance is on tonight or not, maybe do the first round without a weight, and then if you want to add the weight, that would probably hold something like this up at your chest. But if you know you can do it, go ahead and do it. We're gonna do 12 total, okay? So you'll end up going to each side 6 times. So when you're ready, you're squatting down, shift that weight over, lift, balance. Looking like a taekwondo type of move here. Shift, balance. Just pause for just a moment. just to feel nice and concrete before bringing that foot back down. And if you lose your balance, that's fine. Just try to get it right back, especially this first round. $12 total. And once you reach 12, shake those legs out. You can kind of evaluate how it went the first round. If that felt super easy for you and you didn't have any balance problems, grab the weight the second time. If you're doing it with just body weight, with me, try to work on the depth of your squat. Anytime we do body weight squats as opposed to weighted squats, it's a good time to like work on getting low. Sometimes when you start adding the resistance and weight, you feel like you get stuck and you can't drop to parallel or below parallel. But without that weight, it's a good time to practice. Make sure those heels, your weight is way back in those heels so they're staying on the ground the whole time. All righty, wide bent over rows. We're going back to these second time around. Just because we just talked about bands and how to make them harder and easier, I'll just quickly show you. If you wanted to make this exercise easier with the same band, you could stand on the band with one foot. And all of a sudden, that same exercise with the same band is going to feel a lot easier. If you wanted to make it harder, instead of standing hip width distance, you could stand, moving my handle, you could stand a lot wider, and then suddenly that band is a lot tighter. So that just goes to show there's kind of like the standard way to do it, but if your band is not working for you, you can adjust the band easier than you can adjust dumbbells, right? Dumbbells are just kind of what they are. All right, second round, so we're standing in our band, we're making that X. Roll those shoulders back, knees are unlocked, back is flat, palms are facing back towards you. Remember, we're going for wide rows tonight. Second set of 12. Hold that core. Twelve total. Once you get your 12, you can come off your band, set it off to the side. When you're ready, you can go right into those 12 squats. Remember, add the weight if you want. Squat all the way down, work on that depth. Lift, pause, hold for a second. 12 total. Make sure those heels are staying down. All right. 12 and shake it out. Sometimes even the body weight stuff, especially if it's at the beginning, still feels like you're working. We did do a lot of weighted squats on Monday though too. A lot of those rack squats and those in that pyramid, if you guys were with me on Monday. You might be feeling some lingering effects of that. Okay, last time around, guys, with these wide rows. Adjust your resistance with your band if you need to make it a little harder, a little easier, based on how you felt the first two times. Standing on that band, make that X, cross your handles, knees are unlocked, bent forward, back is nice and flat, palms face back towards you. Inhale, exhale. Last set of 12 here. Hold that strong back position the whole time. Breathe. Palms down. All right, 12. Set that band down. Whenever you're ready, get right into that last set of your 12 squats with balance. Squat all the way down, lift that knee. Find that balance. All right. 12. Shake out those legs. All right, so we're done with our band for the night. So if you had it out, that was it. Unless you prefer to use it for anything. Well, most of these exercises you can do either or. So going into this next exercise, we're gonna do a combination movement, an overhead press and a tricep extension, okay? So we're gonna start here, overhead position. We're gonna press overhead. We're gonna keep our elbows glued by our ears. We're gonna extend back for our triceps, extend back up, and then we're gonna come back down right by our chin. That's 1 repetition. We're gonna be doing 12 of these. Depends on what kind of weights you have. If you have lighter weights at home, you can do this with 2 weights. Starting here, close together, arms close together overhead, you bend back, you extend up together, you come down. So the weights stay very close to each other. For me, with the weights I have, they're gonna be it's gonna get a little tad too heavy when I get to 12. So I'm gonna use one kind of medium weight, and I'm gonna do it held here, overhead press, extend back and up. Okay, so both are options. Just kind of evaluate what weights you have and what feels best for you and what your strength level is at. But we are going to be doing 12 of these. So grabbing either 1 or 2 weights, either way, you're staying narrow. Knees are unlocked. We're overhead press. Keep those elbows face to the ceiling. Do your tricep extension and down. Squeeze your glutes so that you're not arching your back. Here we go, 12 total. Really focus on pointing those elbows to the sky when you do that tricep extension. You should be burning towards the end. Last 2. Once you hit your 12, set that weight down off the side, shake those arms out just for a moment here. Next exercise, we're adding on lower body. We're gonna go into lateral lunges. So for this one, if you wanna do them weighted, grab both your dumbbells. So we're gonna do all on our right, and then we'll switch, we'll do all on our left. So we're gonna be stepping out with our right foot first. The stepping leg is gonna be your bent leg. Your left leg is gonna be straight. Chest is forward, hips are face forward. Press off the outside of that foot. We come back, feet together. So we're doing 12 aside here. You can do this without weight if you're feeling like that's where you're at tonight, that's fine. If not, weights just go on the outside of the working knee. So here we go. 12 on our right side, stepping completely to the side. Make sure you're not going in front or behind your body. Pushing off the outside of that foot to get yourself back, feet together. 12, and then just reposition, make sure you got enough space. Go right into that second side for 12, same thing, completely stepping out to the side. Total. Once you reach those 12, set those weights down. A little bit of a breather here. Remember, when you go to do anything lateral, you want to keep everything in the same plane. So when you step out to the side, think like you have a string attached to both of the middle portion of your feet. And when you step out, that string should look completely horizontal. So a common mistake is to kind of start to step in front or maybe even behind. So if you feel like you might be doing that, if you've got a line somewhere on your floor, like I have got the line of my mat, if I start like with my toes on the mat, when I step out, my toes should line up with the front of the mat every time I step. So if I'm looking at it, if I start going like behind myself, I'm going to give myself a lot of distance. Or if I'm overstepping. So if you have a mat at home, sometimes doing lateral lunges is good just to give yourself that visual to see if you're just, you have a tendency sometimes of when you get tired of like shifting your hips. Just a little bit of a tip there. Whole righty, overhead press, tricep extension, second round, 1 or 2 weights, whatever you're using. Knees unlocked, squeeze your glutes. Remember, especially when you're doing your triceps, try not to arch that back, okay? So squeeze everything, overhead, elbows to the ceiling, and down. Second time through. Breathe through it. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. $12 total. Should burn towards the end of that 12. All right, give yourself a moment, shake out those arms. And when you're ready, grab those weights. And for these lateral lunges, if you have something that you want to line your toes up against, just for reference, go ahead and do that. We're going to go second time through, 12 each side. Stepping out to the side every time. I'm going to check myself too. Well, and then line yourself up for your second side of 12. Notice if you have any struggles from one side to the other. $12 and $12. Once you get that, go ahead, shake it on out. See how you felt about that. If you're struggling on either side, usually what I find if you start stepping in front or behind, it's because your stepping foot, you're starting to turn out your toe. So if you step and you find that your foot, like you're kind of like that when you're stepping out, that's going to drive your foot forward or back. So I think like lead with the side of my foot when I do a lateral movement. But sometimes if you have a tendency of like turning out your foot and doing this, better for you to think lead with my heel. It's going to force you to kind of rotate that foot back in. So depending on where you're struggling, maybe think about leading. If you're someone that points your toe out, think about pushing off with your heel a bit more. Or if you're doing great, awesome. No worries. All right, one more time through. Oh, actually, one more comment actually before we do that. So elbows to the ceiling. If you're struggling with this, it might not be your shoulders, it might be your shoulder blades. So when you go overhead, before you do your tricep extension, pinch your shoulder blades together. So the difference between this and then if I go back, like see my elbows are dropping forward. If I go up and then I pinch my shoulder blades together, I can stick my elbows all the way up to the ceiling. Okay, that's my last tip. Here we go. Now we're gonna go for it. Last time around. Squeeze everything. Last 12, take overhead extension and triceps. Breathe. Breathe those glutes. Well, all the way. All right, give yourself a moment. Shake out those arms. Grab those dumbbells. Let's get ready. Last time through with these lateral lunges. Take what other tips you need. You get your step into the side. Let's do our last 12 each side. Once you finish one side, just get yourself set up. Go right into that second side. Well, each side. Once you finish, shake out the legs, set your weights down. Nice work. All righty. Moving along. Next superset, we're going to work with single leg calf raises tonight. So for this, I do suggest balancing with something. So positioning yourself by a chair, a wall, something to help with your balance. You don't want to rely on it significantly, but you probably do want it there for balance. With single leg calf raises, you can do them a couple ways. You can take your foot and step back so you can see me a little bit. You can take the foot that's not going to be working. This is what I like to do and kind of wrap your toe around your back ankle just so it's out of the way and it's not trying to help you. You also can just like hold it out in front if you prefer that. If you're struggling with single leg calf raises, you can kind of do a 1.5 where you mostly have all your weight on your standing leg, but then the other toe is still just on the ground. It's there just to give you just a little bit of help if you need it. So of course you can add weight to this too. I would put the weight in your free hand if you're using it. You might want to feel it out and just see how you feel just without the weight. And then if you want to add it on, we're going to be doing 12 each side. So we're going to start with our weight on our right side, either wrapping the foot, having it extended, or toe down on the ground. Hand is on something for balance. We're going to come up on the ball of that toe, pause. We're coming back down on that heel. Just trying to keep that leg relatively straight. We're popping all the way up onto that calf and down. Pretty intense single leg. So I suggest doing them without weight first. Even if you're not getting very high, even if you're just getting that heel off the ground, should kind of be feeling it. 12, once you get 12, you're probably going to shake up that leg real quick. Switching around, opposite side. For 12, same thing. Balancing on one leg, keeping that leg straight, all the weight's there. Breathe. Woo, 12 and 12. Take a moment, shake out those calves, shake out your legs a little bit. If you need like those ankle rolls, kind of as we did at the beginning. Those single leg calf raises really start to burn after a bit. Okay, exercise that we're pairing that with is going to be parallel bicep curls. So you need your 2 dumbbells. Okay, and what we're going to do, this is just a different variation. I'm actually going to do it without my dumbbells first. Is you're going to take your hands, you're going to supinate them, so your palms are going to be up, and you're going to bring your arms parallel to the floor. Okay, so that's where the parallel part of the name comes from. Shoulders, elbows, wrists, all in one straight line. You're going to keep your elbows and shoulders exactly where they are. You're going to pull, hands come back towards your face here, and then you're going to extend back. Okay, so it's going to look like this, almost like you're landing a plane, except for your palms are up. Okay, and you're holding weights here to here. Going for 12. This is going to work those shoulders a bit more. So grab those weights out from your shoulders, start extended, curling back, and then releasing out, trying to keep those elbows up the whole time. Going for 12. Breathe. Once you reach your 12, arms can come all the way down. You can set your weights down off to the side. A little bit of core work too. So as you're extending those arms out, in order to not like try to counterbalance and lean back, you got to like use your core. It's almost like a standing plank suddenly, right in the midst of that bicep curl. Take a moment, shake out those arms. Same thing, we're gonna go around 3 times. So based on your calf raises the first time, if you need to make any adjustments, go ahead and do so. If they really felt like a piece of cake, just grab a weight and put it in your free hand. That will make it harder. If they're challenging, just keep working on whatever variation feels best for you. But we're going to attempt to do another set of 12 aside. Breathe. Well, and then switch. Get right into that second side. Good to notice if you feel like one side is stronger than the other. Woohoo, burning by the end. Once you get 12 on both sides, take a second if you need to. Just shake out the legs, shake out the ankles a bit, and get some feeling back in there. Grab those weights. Second time through, parallel bicep curls. Get that position. Get those arms straight out from your chest. Elbows are up, curling back and forward. Activate that core on the way out. Ooh, 12. Release down once you hit your 12. Weights down. All right, quick little breather here. We're going to be going into this. Stop my workout. One more time around with those calf raises. So get yourself in position. Shift that weight over. Last time, 12 aside. And switch. Get those calves burning by the end. All right, 12 and 12. Ooh, gets to you by the end there. We'll do a little bit of calf stretching tonight too when we finish up. We'll do our dumbbell calf stretches. All right, grab those weights last time through, parallel bicep curls, knees are unlocked, palms are up, get those arms out, curling in, point those elbows towards the front. Engage that core. Twelve and release. All right, leaps down, shake it on out. All righty, guys. So we're moving into our last superset. In this last superset, you guys can do this part completely lying on or doing it on the mat if you want. I'm going to use my bench. We're going to be doing either hip thrusts or glute bridges. I am going to use my bench just simply because my little guy's getting big enough that laying on my back is not so fun anymore. So I'm going to use my bench. But if you don't have a bench at home, Fran actually reminded me today because she brought her, you could do this with a ball too. So if you have one of those like big yoga balls, you could do this with your back on the yoga ball. If you don't have bench or yoga ball, lie flat on your back and you're just going to do glute bridges. Okay, so just lifting your hips up and down. If you're doing just regular glute bridges, even if you're doing them with the bench or the ball, if you want to add resistance, you're going to take the weight and you're going to put it right in your hip flexor, okay, and you're going to hold it there. So optional to add weight for that if you like. We're going to be pairing this with push-ups as well, just so you know, just so you're aware of where we're going with this. So you can do them to the mat, you can do them on your knees, you can do them if you need to kind of come up and do them to the bench, the chair, to the wall, however you need to do, whatever works for you. But we're starting with these hip thrusts or glute bridges. So if you're doing them with a bench or ball, you're going to position just the top part of your back against your bench, moving your feet out so that your feet are right underneath your knees. If you're doing this on the mat, you're just lying flat on your back with your feet right underneath your knees, okay? So either way, we're starting with our butts down towards the floor. From here, you're gonna be lifting up, squeeze your glutes as much as you can, and then you lower down. So like I said, if you wanted to hold a weight, you could hold a weight right across your hips here. We're going for 12. I'm just gonna support my head since I'm not using weight. You're gonna lift, squeeze, lower down. Lift, squeeze, lower down. All the way through to 12. Trying to keep your knees parallel. $12 total. If you're doing them on the ball too, you guys are getting an added little core workout there because the ball's going to move around a lot more than my bench will. Okay, like I said, we are pairing that with push-ups. Push-up repetitions tonight are for 10. So whatever you can do for 10, if you want to do them to the mat, knees on the mat, if you want to do them, I'm probably going to do mine inclined to my bench here since I have it out. If you need to get up and do these against the wall or some other counter space, go ahead and do so, but we are going for 10. I'm going to shift myself around here so my bench doesn't go flying, but whenever you're ready, hands are right underneath your chest, holding your core in nice and tight, lowering yourself down, pressing yourself all the way up for 10. Once you get your 10 push-ups, we're going to take a quick breather break here. So another variation of these glute bridges or hip thrusts that we're not doing tonight, but if you wanted to add resistance, is those loop bands. You can put those around your knees too. That's another way of adding resistance on to this movement. Most of you guys are probably fine to add weight. Dumbbells are just really uncomfortable to hold there right now. That's just kind of where I'm at. So I'm doing these without weight tonight, but please don't let me hold you back if you're feeling like you're able to do it. All right, so our feet are right underneath our knees. If you're doing it with a bench or ball, your mid back is supported, you're supporting your head, dropping your hips down, lifting up as high as you can, squeeze your glutes on top, keeping your knees parallel, second time through 12. Total. Once you reach 12, you can flip yourself around or do whatever you need to do to get yourself in your position. For your second time through with push-ups, we're going for 10. 10 solid push-ups. Get your chest over your hands. Hold that nice plank position. Lower down, press away. And total, however you like to do them. And then we'll take a quick breather here. You guys are on the mat. You can just flip around, hang out for just a moment, catch your breath. Before we go back into our third set. The sun's staying out light enough. I haven't even had to turn my ring light on. The past couple of weeks, I was kept saying, I look so bright and shiny during all these workouts. I think it's because I had my light on, but it's actually light enough outside. I don't have to. So I'm in the dark today. All right, last time through, hip thrusts, glute bridges, and then our push-ups. Get those feet underneath your knees. Lift, squeeze, hold for a moment, lower down. Total. And then flipping yourself around or repositioning yourself for your last round of 10 push-ups. So getting into that nice, great plank position. Hands are underneath your chest. Hold that core in, dropping yourself down last time through 10. And total. Once you guys reach your 10, take a moment, pause, get your breath. Before we get into seated stretching tonight, I do want to do those calf stretches. Just for all that single leg calf raise stuff we did. So if you got something to prop your toe up on, you can use that. If not, you can use your dumbbell. Heel down, toe up. Okay, so first stretch we're gonna do, leg is straight. Shouldn't have to lean too far to feel that in the calf. Stretching out our right calf first. So whatever calf you're stretching, just make sure that leg is straight completely for this version. And then let's switch sides. So just left heel down, toe up, same thing. Kind of leaning just a little bit into it. You should feel, as long as you've got a good incline on your toe, you should feel this pretty quickly. All righty, now we're gonna switch back. Now we'll do our bent knee stretch. Now bend at your knee, press down, and you're gonna feel this a little bit lower down through your Achilles, lower portion of your calf, your soleus. Inhale, exhale. Move around a little bit if you need to. Switch sides when you're ready. Same thing. Just notice too, if you have like one side that's tighter than the other, it's usually a sign of some sort of imbalance, especially in the calf. Maybe you're spending more time standing on that leg. Maybe it's the way you sit. Sometimes it's the way we walk. So good to take notice. All right, once you get both sides, you're feeling pretty good. You can set your weight off to the side if you're using that to stretch. And we'll come to our seated stretches. Uh-oh. Move everything around here. Okay. Just seated nice and tall. Extend our right leg out, heel down, toe up, leaning forward, flat back. And then switching sides, bringing that leg in, extending left leg out, heel down, toe up. And then bringing that leg in, let's take our right leg up above our left knee. Let's open up our hip or ankle on ankle if you can't reach your ankle above your knee. Pushing that hip down and away. You can lean forward if you need a little bit of a deeper stretch. Feel that up to your glute. And then hand to the outside of the knee, reaching behind you, looking over that back shoulder, just adding a little bit of a twist. Deep breath here. And coming back through center, untwisting that leg. Switching, opposite side. Leg up, hip down. Same thing, letting that knee kind of drop away. Leaning forward a little bit if you'd like a deeper stretch, if you need it. If you don't, that's okay. And then hand to the outside of the knee, reaching behind, looking over that back shoulder. And then coming back to center, unraveling both legs. Take a second, shake it on out. Sitting up tall, let's bring our right arm across our body, hug that shoulder in. Do a little wrist stretching here if you want. Let's switch sides, left arm across the body. And then relax that arm. Let's clasp our fingers behind our back, drop our shoulders down, open up that chest, pull our hands away from the small of our back. You want to drop your ear down towards your shoulders here to get a good neck stretch. You can. You want to drop your chin to your chest, whatever feels good to stretch out your neck, your upper back, shoulder area. This is a good stretch to really feel it in. And let's release those hands. Let's come to center, really round our back, pull our shoulder blades apart. Push everything forward. And then two arms come overhead, reach tall. Inhale, and let's lean over to our right side. Feel that side body stretch. And then back to center, switch hands if you need to, up and over to the left. And back to center one more time. Reach straight up, inhale. And exhale everything out and down. Roll those shoulders out. Nice work, everybody. Thanks for